What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 310 of the Atlantic Files. This week, we're going over whether or not the Sixers should think about trading Joel Embiid, the Knicks versus Six series in general, and how physical it has been. And then we're going to check into the rest of the playoffs and talk about how the Bucks have been hurt, how the Nuggets have gotten past the Lakers, how the Timberwolves have looked pretty amazing, and how Anthony Edwards is getting comparisons to Michael Jordan. So without further ado, let's jump into the intro.
Welcome to the Atlantic Files, where humor and vibes collide. Nets and Sixers, the king of the court. Jokes that hit you one more. Atlantic Division, we own the scene. Comedy, food talk, every routine. Mike Bash, Clausen, Fischbein on the mic, making you laugh every episode right. Game is strong, court to kitchen. We're never wrong. You know what time it is. It's time for the Atlantic Files.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. As always, joined by your host, myself, Alex Fischbein. We got Dennis Big Sexy Clausen and the man himself, Mike Bash, is back. Mike, you're on mute. That's how you know it's been a while.
That's the way to come back, is be muted.
Should be like that all the time.
Oh my God, Dennis.
I mean, essentially, it has been lately because he hasn't even been here. So,
Yeah, tax season was a killer. Just put it that way.
It's funny that we're episode 310 because that's how much Mike weighs now.
Dennis did like 7 jumping jacks and he thinks he can make fat jokes now.
I mean, I always thought that if you have either been in the same situation or are in the same situation, then you can make as many jokes as you want.
Well, to be fair, the scales never said 3 for me. We gotten close. I've never seen a 3 yet. Except when I started. I started at 3 pounds and 14 ounces. Or 12 ounces.
That's it? 3 pounds?
It was 3 pounds, 12 ounces, yeah.
Damn.
I overcompensated since.
Were you, what are they called? A preemie? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I was premature.
Okay.
That was how much they
me
weighed
and my
when they
siblings.
found him in a dumpster at 3 pounds 12 ounces.
Oh, Jesus.
Trying to get rid of him.
Dennis, let me ask you a question. How far is Syracuse from Siena?
About 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So you won't be seeing Jerry McNamara at the haircutting place.
No, he's gone.
Did he say his final goodbyes? Did you see him?
No, didn't see him.
He just got up and moved.
Yeah, he took a
got
job
up and
with
left.
Siena.
Tony cut his hair. And that's it. And
Is
Italian
Siena
guy
a better
cut his
place
hair.
than Syracuse?
No. Siena's like around Albany, which is just as shitty.
I was about to say.
Anything outside of New York City sucks in New York.
No, New York
It
City sucks too.
especially sounds like the upstate and like northwest New Yorks are pretty terrible because it's winter like almost the whole year.
9 months of the year.
I mean, the people though in central New York are kind of dumb anyway. So you really don't want to leave your house, even if it was nice, because they're so stupid that you just want to stay isolated.
That makes sense. I mean, I barely want to leave as it is, and there's a broad array of people here. So,
Oh, wait till you get wait till you get older, it gets worse. You don't want to leave your house at all.
Dennis doesn't even want to leave his recliner.
Correct.
I mean, to be fair, if I had a comfy recliner, I probably wouldn't leave it either. Although I kind of do, except we don't have room to put it anywhere, so it's kind of just sitting unused right now. Maybe
There's
I'll just
always room for
throw
a
it in the
recliner.
office and use it when I'm on the podcast.
There you go. Live from the recliner.
Exactly.
We'll have to have a recliner only episode.
Is Rutgers playing Siena?
No.
I don't fucking know. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Jeez. So stop asking questions. Holy, so defensive over Rutgers.
you guys haven't commented on the new look. I got it.
There's a
I got it
reason
nice
for that.
and nice and trimmed up.
Wow,
Nice
you
and-
even got the beard trimmed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, I've never done this before. It's a new look for me. I went to my barber. Said, "Give me the Dennis," and she was like,
There
"What's
you
Dennis?" And I was like, "Just low on the sides, nice hair on the top, little neat beard, and just minus the grays."
You had to say the big sexy, then they would have.
Give me the big sexy. That's all you're gonna tell her. Give me the big sexy.
In like North Korea, they only have a couple of haircuts that are authorized. They just got to point at the picture, and that's what they get.
Is that how you got to your haircut?
Yeah, that's what you do down at your.
Give me the Kim Jong Un.
I mean, to be fair, as kids with those haircut books, it was always like that.
Anyway,
I guess I'm the only one that
let's
remembers that.
let's get on the basketball.
I was too poor to get a haircut, so I don't know. I didn't get a haircut. Start getting haircuts till my older days.
I always got
Now you overcompensate and get them every 2 weeks, which I found out is common. People get haircuts every 2 weeks. I get haircuts every 6 weeks.
I cut my own hair now every 6 weeks.
Well, you barely have any to cut.
Exactly. All I need to do is buzz. I save myself money.
Anyway.
Like if I was in your situation, I would consider that, but I just have beautiful hair, so I have to sculpt it,
Oh, trust me. If I actually had hair to style, I would not be cutting it myself. That's for damn sure.
Plus, going to the barbershop is like therapeutic. I like going in. I like sitting in the chair. I like getting the hot towel. I like getting the shave. Like it's an experience.
I agree. It's a fun time if it's a good barbershop and like you enjoy the people there. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're good guys.
Yeah. With that being said, Dennis said he had a lot to talk about this week. And I feel as though one of those things is definitely going to be Joel Embiid, which we talked about a lot, not only this season, but we talked about it a lot when the Sunday game happened and they lose again. They're down 3-1, playing currently, but Joel Embiid was questionable for today again. He had a migraine during shoot around, which is a side effect of Bell's palsy. I think Mike can offer his expertise there, but that's what they were saying. He was unable to participate in shooting around and everything, but is still playing.
What did they say he had?
A migraine.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't tell you if I don't remember having any migraines during Bell's palsy, but the rest of what he's going through, I've had.
Okay. Yeah,
I could get the dry eye. You can't blink your eye. Migraines. I'm not buying.
Yeah, I mean, so the first couple of days of Bell's palsy is really tough because like you can't sleep great because your eye doesn't really shut, and you're like you're walking around, and then you can't really chew because you're like, oh, I'm on the other side of my mouth. But after a couple of days, it kind of gets better. For me, I mean, I've had it now 4.5 years, and it's better. It comes and goes. Like how good? Like this looks bad now, but it's kind of because I'm faking it for Joel Embiid's sake. But no, I mean it wouldn't affect it shouldn't affect his ability to play now as long as he's got like his full energy.
I mean, I will say that there was points in. It was weird because I think it was game 2 when he tweaked his knee and fell down, and then all of a sudden that's when his eye started looking weird, and everyone on the internet was like, what's going on? Is he concussed? Does he get poked in the eye? Like what happened here? And then the next game 3 was when they finally talked about him being diagnosed with Bell's palsy right before the game, and then it looked bad. Like you could see when he was talking, only like one side of his mouth was going.
He was like, yeah. I've never heard it I guess it can come from stress, like a trauma, but I don't think him hurting his knee would cause Bell's palsy. I'm not a doctor, so don't take this as medical reporting. That being said, I got it eating a bagel. I was eating. We were going into a work training, and they got us bagels. And I went to go take a bite of the bagel, and I felt something like pinch, and all of a sudden, like my eyes were like locking up. I think I like called Dennis or something. I don't remember. Or Dennis called me because I think Dennis thought he had it. That's might have been what it
No,
was.
I did have it, but mine went away.
Yeah, so like it could happen at any time. It's not. I don't think him hurting his knee is what caused it, though.
You got to come up with a better story than that. Like, say I was in a bar fight, I beat up 3 guys. I got hit with a bottle over the head, and then after I was done, eating a bagel, a Jewish guy eating a bagel. That's weird.
Was it at least a bagel that was worth?
I found out the other day I like cream cheese. I never had cream cheese in my life.
You never had cream cheese until the other
I've
day?
had it like as part of like a buffalo chicken dip or something, but I've never straight up had a bagel with cream cheese.
So what do you put on your bagel?
Butter.
That's it?
No, for
Straight
real.
butter?
No butter. Sometimes during Passover, when we used to break the fast, not Passover, Yom Kippur, when we break the fast, I'd take a sesame bagel, I toast it, I put a piece of cheddar cheese on top, and I eat it with just cheddar cheese on it. And then sometimes I'd have chicken salad.
I will say I've had cream cheese on top of matzah, and it's
All right, you guys
good.
get way too Jewy for me.
Once he brought up Passover, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember doing cream cheese and matzah." I don't. Go ahead.
What about cream cheese and butter?
That's what my sister said to me, and I
Also
said absolutely not.
Why?
She learned. She got it from me. Breakfast one day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because she's only 15 years younger than you. It's a little weird. But anyway, yeah, no, I found out I like cream cheese, so I'm gonna have to start eating cream cheese on a bagel.
So you've never had bagel and lox with cream cheese?
Nope.
How un-Jewish of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now wait till you experience strawberry cream cheese.
Oh, that shit's
You
I
want
do
to
want
get
to try
your
the
toast
Oreo cream
curl?
cheese. There's a place by us that does like these like fancy cream cheeses. They have Oreo cream cheese. Now I want to try that.
I think the one time I had a cinnamon bun cream cheese. That shit was good.
Well, if you come down to the Jersey Shore,
I'm
you'll see
hard
what
now.
you got down here.
True. Also, have you had cream cheese icing at least? Because that's the best icing.
No.
Oh my god! So you haven't had like a red velvet cake with? Because usually red.
Yeah, and
velvet
I don't.
has
I've
cream
had
cheese
it like
icing.
I don't like cheesecake. Like I've had it accidentally, but I've never like purposely went out and been like, give me cream cheese icing.
Well, cheesecake isn't cream cheese icing. That's just cheesecake is different.
Oh,
But
How about carrot cake with cream cheese icing? Bruh.
yes, another solid one.
Again, I need a whole box of tissues after eating one of those things.
I think Deanna might even need a box of tissues because that's her favorite.
Gonna need a mop.
Good old Swiffer wet jet.
Yep.
But anyway, Dennis, I want to make your argument here about trading Joel Embiid because I have said in our group chat that I don't really want to trade him, A, because I don't think they would really get anything close to what he's worth, and B, it just seems like it has to be the timeline of they're just not going to trade him. He's the centerpiece. They want to build around him. They want to give it one more try. Daryl Morey has probably the best chance to do it that he does because they have nobody on the books anymore. So I want to hear your argument at least, and I want to see where this goes.
I mean, isn't it the same theme every postseason though with him?
I mean, yeah, he never gets a full postseason because he's always rehabbing.
I honestly feel like this is just deja vu. Like every playoffs we go through this same thing. And it's, for one, it's getting old. I'm really sick of hearing it. Two, after watching him on Sunday and what a dirty schmuck he is and just how he acts, but then when he, takes a hit, he flops around like he could get hit by Miles McBride and he's going to flap around on the floor like he just got tackled by a defensive lineman. So, I mean, how how long are we going to deal with this before you're at the point to where you say, okay, I finally had enough? Because let me tell you something. I agree with Mike when, the process it's not happening. He's the last piece of the process. It's over. This guy cannot stay healthy. And it's not just him. There's a lot of other guys I'm sure we'll get into who have trouble in the postseason. But the whole point in his schedule, especially throughout the regular season, is to keep him healthy for the postseason. He can't even do that. And it's not like he gets one ailment. It's multiple ailments. Last year or the year before, he had the ligament damage. He's had constant knee injuries. Now he's got Bell's palsy. He's got migraines. What else are we going to come up with here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long ago I told Alex that the Philadelphia 76ers would never win a championship with the current core or the Joel Embiid-led Sixers. It's never going to happen, and they sold any chance they had of winning a championship with Joel Embiid when they let Jimmy Butler out the door. I told Alex when they got Jimmy Butler was the piece that they needed to have a chance to win in the playoffs. And once he left, that sealed their fate. Sorry. Embiid's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the top 5-10 players in the league every year for the last few years. But you can't win with the way he plays and his health and his availability. He's a great player and he's a great individual player, but he'll never be able to lead a team to a championship. And I've believed that for I don't know how many years, but it still shows true. I mean, it's a guards game. You're not going to win with a big man, especially one like him. That he's a good player, but you can't run a postseason offense through him. And it's a guards game today. So
I mean, who is the world champs though? Or excuse me, the NBA champs. So I don't disagree. I kind of disagree with the big man thing, but But that's why I was telling you, like, I never want to hear a comparison. I never want to hear anybody.
But like the Nuggets won, and I know like Jokic is their star, but Jokic plays like a guard. Like he doesn't post up all the time and like let's go back to the basket. No, he's distributing. Like Joel Embiid doesn't distribute like Jokic does.
Well, Embiid is getting better he got much better as a distributor this year. But my whole point is the difference between Jokic and Embiid, because statistically they're both just as gifted. But when it comes to actually like delivering in the big moments and in the postseason and actually winning a championship, there's a huge difference between them.
The biggest thing to me is always between Embiid and Jokic. I mean, with health to the side, because obviously health is the biggest difference of all. But leadership is always the biggest difference to me. Is Joel Embiid just continues to fail as a leader of an actual team in terms of like being able to get players to rally around him, being able to make his teammates that much better. He has always failed in that aspect of things. And I'm not saying your best player necessarily needs to be the leader, because when Jimmy Butler was there, he's a guy that can get other people playing better. He can get them rallied around and playing at their highest level in the playoffs. You see it with Miami, how he fires everybody up, and all of the guys in their post-game press conferences talk about the fact that Butler hypes everybody up. He gets everyone playing. He gets everyone going.
Except for himself.
I mean, he has his own health issues for sure.
I mean, he's got to, at least he's doing something, because he certainly ain't doing anything now.
True. But like Jokic, along with Murray, and I would just say Murray, really, not Porter Jr., but him and Murray have done a good job of rallying the troops, so to say. On top of that, like the one thing that we always see from LeBron is he's a leader and gets his guys all involved and gets them to play better around him when they do win championships. The Golden State Warriors always had entire team efforts of different guys stepping up at different times. You never see that with any of these Sixers teams. The closest thing was the Jimmy Butler team that lost on the stupid ass rim bounce 15 times. And that'll always be something that'll create one of the biggest what ifs in Philly, not only Philly sports history, but just NBA history in general. And the fact that Jimmy Butler decided to leave based on Ben Simmons and Brett Brown just makes it even worse, because those two were two of the people that, I mean, I don't agree with the Brett Brown part, but everyone wanted Ben Simmons gone at that point too. So that it just kind of is insult to injury. However, going back to Embiid, it sucks to me that this whole injury part this season, because he was showing a completely different level, not only as a scorer, but as a distributor. And he was putting up double his career high in assists and was starting to scratch the surface of around 7 assists a game. And even in these playoffs with him hurt, he has shown a 50,000 time better skill to pass out of double teams instead of getting the ball stolen every single time or throwing it right to the defense. There was multiple games in every single postseason that he had 6 or more turnovers. And through 4 games, I believe it was, he had 8 turnovers in this game or in this series. So he has shown a big improvement in terms of his own game and his own distributing skills. However, there's no other role players that are stepping up, and he's not making them any better right now at all. The game they won, the role players stepped up. The other games, they've gotten a little bit from Kelly Oubre here and there. Tobias Harris is absolutely just invisible. That guy couldn't fucking put a ball in a basket if it was a Fisher-Price hoop against a 5-year-old kid. And on top of that, Kyle Lowry has been like your main leader and energy guy as a 37, 38-year-old veteran point guard that just got to the team on the buyout market.
Like Mike said, Mike summed it up perfectly. He's a great player, just can't stay healthy. Nobody's questioning whether he's a terrific player.
Yeah,
just can't stay healthy.
And I agree with that. I know he can't stay healthy, and it is incredibly frustrating every single postseason to have. And it's also, like you said, it's multiple ailments, but it's weird and outlandish ailments. The knee thing is a normal one that happens a lot in the NBA, but like the Bell's palsy, he broke his orbital bone multiple times. Like, and one of them was by hitting his face on Markelle Fultz's shoulder on a screen. Like, what the fuck is that?
Wait, hold on. How does a guy that's 7'2" hit his face on a 6'4" guy's shoulder? Why was Markelle Fultz setting a screen?
He wasn't setting a screen. The defender
Embiid was setting a screen?
No. The defender was setting a screen, and Markelle Fultz was supposed to hedge, and Embiid was chasing the ball handler.
That's just being a klutz.
That's why you don't hedge.
He's a giant klutz. That's the thing. That was my thing too about when people started posting this like whole dirty play highlight tape of Embiid. I was like, half of these are just because he's a giant oaf and can't control his body.
Oh,
they're not
yeah.
because
we used to play basketball with a kid growing up in the backyard, and it was like you had to wear shoulder pads around him because he wasn't a dirty player, but he would literally just like run into people and like trip over himself and send you flying because we were like, are you drunk? Like, what's going on with you?
Exactly. And that's Embiid. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing the shit he did with Mitchell Robinson. I said it right away that was bullshit because that was an incredibly dirty play and an incredibly dangerous play to pull somebody down while he's trying to jump and you're on the ground. But the like dirty play tapes that are going around, I'm like, there was one where it looked like he just outright tried to tackle John Collins. And I'm like, if you just extend that clip by 10 seconds, you'll see that his processing speed is super slow. He tried to dive for a ball. The ball was nowhere near him, and then he ran into John Collins. He just does stupid shit. That's the biggest thing about Embiid. And he hurts himself most of the time.
So I tell tell you how to fix this right now. And I told you before, I'd pick up the phone, I'd call Miami, I'd ask what Tyler Hero's up to, I'd ask what Bam Adebayo's up to, and I would desperately try to trade for Bam Adebayo, get rid of Joel Embiid, bring anybody else. While Joel Embiid still has some value left to him, because Miami's a team that's dumb. They think that like they'll bring in a player like him because they think if they pair him and Jimmy Butler, that's automatically going to mean a championship. So if I were in Philly right now, while they have the cap space and while they have some flexibility, now's the opportune time to just pull the trigger, get rid of him, send him to Miami, have him be with his boy Jimmy Butler. Granted, Tyler Hero's not the best. He's hurt all the time too, but you know what? At least you could boot his ass out the door whenever you want to when his contract is over.
True. I mean, I remember the last episode you and I did together, Dennis. I saw a stat that Tyler Hero has only played 4 more games than Embiid throughout his career, and Embiid missed 2 entire seasons.
So, oh, yeah, he's garbage. Don't get me wrong.
So, I mean, I would love to get Bam Adebayo, don't get me wrong, but Tyler Hero, yeah, hopefully it would be like a deal where you get him and then you immediately ship him out for somebody else to like maybe a younger team that has a guy that wants to get rid of somebody.
Nobody wants him now. I mean, nobody wants him.
Ship Tyler Hero to Chicago and give me back DeRozan and Lonzo Ball.
Well, I mean, if the only reason I would say if the Sixers, if they manage to sign DeRozan as a free agent or make like a big acquisition like that during the offseason, then I would run it back. But if they don't add and take advantage of their cap flexibility in the offseason, they're screwed because their roster right now, the way it's constructed, is complete garbage. They don't have anybody. And I'm not even going to, I mean, they should have realized, the thing about Philly is they never realized that guys that they believe should be scorers aren't scorers. Ben Simmons is not a scorer. Tobias Harris is no longer the guy he was. He's not like the Clippers Tobias Harris or the Detroit Pistons. You know, he's old.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, that never made sense to me is Tobias Harris's play style has never been something that's going to fit with Joel Embiid because Tobias Harris needs the ball in his hands. He needs to be in the post, the high post, and work on mid-range and do things like that. He was a volume shooter when he was the number one guy in like Detroit and even his right before he got traded from the Clippers and things like that. Like he needs the ball in his hands to actually score and he needs to take 10 plus shots. But when you're on a team with Embiid and Maxey, you're not getting that amount of shots. You needed a third star, quote unquote, to be like a Klay Thompson that can catch and shoot and play defense. You did not need a guy that has to just have the ball in his hands all the time. The catch and shoot guys that play defense are going to be your best bet with a guy like Embiid because if he's in the paint, if he's even in the mid-range, whatever, there's constant double teams, there's constant gravity around him, and it's just common fucking sense that you need people who can shoot and who aren't afraid to shoot on the catch. Because I have counted so many times where Tobias Harris gets the ball on an open shot on a swing pass, and he pump fakes and dribbles into a terrible shot. Then there's times where Buddy Hield gets the ball in an open shot and doesn't fucking shoot the ball, even though he's one of the best 3-point shooters to ever grace the fucking game.
Don't get me started on Buddy Hield.
And then on top of that, you have people like that you bring in that start to shoot the dumb shots. You got the person who had the most confidence that was taking the most shots was fucking PJ Tucker. But you got guys like Buddy Hield that just won't pull the trigger.
Alex is really heated right now. Alex, I've never heard him drop one F-bomb, let alone 2 in the span of about 30 seconds.
But here's the thing: how how dumb are we? Like Buddy Hield was a big acquisition at the
Yes.
deadline. He was probably one of the biggest names that was out there.
Yep.
And they have not done anything to put confidence in him. They've taken away his minutes. It's absolutely disgusting. So unless you're going to give Buddy a chance to get out of his funk, you're going to get everything that's coming to you. So
I
enjoy
agree.
Kyle Lowry. Enjoy, Nick Batum, even though he's playing well, but he's about 90. And yeah, that's about it. It's over.
My guy Marcus Jackson here. What's up, Marcus? Been a long time, but he said they should have held on to Niang. I mean, at least Niang shot the ball. Say what you want about Niang on defense, and also Niang's all-time stupid move of grabbing Jaylen Brown's knee from the bench. But he at least shot the ball. JJ Redick shot the fucking ball and had the highest amount of points per game in a season of his entire career, even though he played with much better teams.
Ersad Ilyasova shot the ball.
Marco Bellinelli shot the fucking ball.
Dario Saric?
I mean, he shot it occasionally.
Because he was a Sixer, right?
Yeah.
Dario Saric shot the ball.
Robert Covington, in the early days of the process, shot the ball.
He ain't shooting nothing these days.
He ain't even stepping on a court these days.
No.
But it's just with Buddy Hield too, I would have been perfectly fine. My thought process was start Buddy Hield and let Tobias Harris come off the bench, because then if you put Joel Embiid on the bench, then you can let Tobias have the ball and let him do whatever the hell. But get Buddy Hield in the starting lineup and get him some shots early on so that he can start to get out of the slump, just like you were saying. That it makes sense that way. And it is annoying because it seems like Nick Nurse experiments in other ways, but he won't experiment in a way of like, dude, you're down 3-1. Let's just throw in Ricky Council. Let's throw in, get Buddy Hield more minutes and take those minutes away from Tobias Harris. Put in, it took a while to put Cam Payne in, and then he brought some decent offense in very little short spurts here and there. So, there has to be, if you keep doing the same thing, producing the same fucking result, change a little bit more. Especially because, to be honest, the Sixers were supposed to take a gap year this year because of the whole James Harden thing, just like the whole Ben Simmons thing happened. So at that point, you're playing with house money. Just try something.
No, but they're delusional, though. Everybody in Philly thinks they're going to win a championship.
I mean, I definitely, I had a feeling before all of this crazy injury shit happened that I was like, I feel like this year is different, and Embiid has been different this year, and I think they could go a little bit further than the second round. But now, after everything that's unfolded, I mean, it's just been stupid thing after stupid thing after stupid thing, and it just all is compiled into this. And
they are winning now, though.
They are winning now, which we'll see how long that lasts.
Wait till Embiid goes to the bench.
Exactly. But I will say, I don't think, well, I should preface this by saying, I hope he does not play in the Olympics, because I don't know first off, I don't know how he's going to be healthy to play in them in the first place. Second off, if he plays in them, there's no way in hell he's playing next season until January or February, probably February.
Well, that's why when he said he wants to play in the Olympics, I almost shit my pants from laughing so hard.
I agree.
You're fucking delusional, man. You want to play the Olympics?
I understand wanting to play the Olympics, but actually playing them is a completely different thing.
Again, if I were Philly, I'd ground him. I'd be like, you know what you're doing? This off season, I don't want you going to fucking Africa or wherever the hell you want to go to. Your ass is staying right here. We're rehabbing. We're getting every part of your body strong because we're sick of your bullshit.
And it's like when he goes to practicing for the Olympics, he's just going to be limping around on practice and just causing more damage to his knee. Like, what? That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they got to trade him. It's over.
I mean, I will say, I want to see what happens this offseason. I was having like a conversation on Threads when I was talking about Embiid, and I said that this offseason will probably be like the last hurrah for the Embiid-led Sixers. And it all comes down to getting this offseason right, because you're finally getting Tobias Harris off the books. You are not locked into really anybody other than, I think, maybe Ricky Council, but I think that might have been unguaranteed. But even B-Ball Paul's contract is unguaranteed the next 2 years. So the only guaranteed contract is Joel Embiid. That's it. They're going to give Maxey the max, obviously. That's going to come. But you have room for a third max, and you have room to fill out the rest of the roster. And if you don't make it happen in a manner that actually complements Joel Embiid's skill set and Maxey's skill set, then it is obvious that it's over.
I'd focus more on Maxey, because why compliment Embiid when he's never around?
I mean, that's
enough
also
of the
a good
bullshit.
Point.
It's over. I'm sick of hearing about Embiid. I'm sick of hearing about how good it's. I am so sick of these guys that are just fucking hurt all the time, and now we're talking about LeBron is talking about. People are talking about LeBron today. He's out of the playoffs. Why are we even talking about him? Jimmy Butler hasn't played. Why are we talking about him? Joel Embiid sucks during the. Why are we talking about him? Why are we talking about these guys who are hurt, or just they love the attention? Part of it is he wants the attention. Kawhi Leonard, garbage.
I mean, Kawhi has been awful this series.
Well,
now that he's actually
hasn't he missed like 2 games already?
Like came back for game 2.
Yeah.
And then he played 25 minutes in game 3, played 25 minutes. Then he sat on the bench sulking. And once I saw that, I go, yeah, he ain't playing in game 4. And you know what? Something is going on there with his knee. And they're not, and we said this before, but something's going on with his knee. Mm-hmm. And it's going to result in a procedure. They'll try to downplay and be like, he had a procedure or something like that, but the guy's knee is shot.
There has to be something that nobody told anyone about his leg injuries ranging back from his Spurs days, because they have been shot since then. That Toronto Raptors year is the only year that he's been healthy throughout. And that's it.
But he's another guy too. He's a guy who should have been MVP at least once.
I know. I mean, he got Finals MVPs. He should have gotten an MVP. But then, go ahead.
Enough of these guys. I like I said, I'm so sick of it. Not even funny. I don't even know if we're going to talk about it, but I want to talk about it. They're talking about LeBron. What are you doing next season? Of course, he doesn't answer. I don't care what he's doing next offseason. Why aren't we focusing on the postseason right now? There's plenty of postseason left ahead.
I agree. Before we get into the rest of the playoffs, I do want to say that this Knicks-Sixers series, to me, I think has been the best series of the first round so far, because of the fact that it's been crazy physical, the hype around it, the close games and everything. This series has just been fun in general. And I got to say that the Knicks are just a fun team to watch in general. I like their role players. I like Brunson. Brunson has been amazing. Other than the first 2 games. First 2 games weren't that great for him. But if they had Julius Randle, I just wonder what the team would look like. Like, Julius Randle has at times been a black hole and at times been an amazing player. So I wonder how much he actually elevates the team when he's actually playing for them.
I don't know if he would, to be honest with you, because the way how good Josh Hart has been.
Exactly.
If you had Julius Randle in the equation, what would Josh Hart be doing? Josh Hart has been huge.
And Hartenstein's been great. Mitchell Robinson has come in and done some big things on defense. I mean, OG has even put in some big minutes, like playing power forward and center. Like the whole supporting cast has honestly been amazing for them. And DiVincenzo has only had like one decent game, but he has the potential to blow up and go for like 30, 40 points.
Yeah, but it's all Brunson. I mean,
Oh,
Brunson by himself is just leading that team.
easily the motor. Easily. Marcus also said, I think someone with LeBron's energy and skill level makes Philly favorites coming out of the East next year. Kyle Lowry has the energy, but isn't a starter. Yeah, I mean, they need leadership. They need somebody who will be healthy, somebody that can hit some shots, and somebody that knows how to turn it up in the postseason when that comes along. That's the biggest thing. Just gonna kind of leave that there. Let's move on though. Let's go to the Timberwolves have been awesome to watch. And Anthony Edwards is now drawing Michael Jordan comparisons.
Stop it.
It ain't that far off.
The dunk that he had at the end of, I think that was game 4, and they put the side by side with Michael Jordan's dunk.
He even wears the armband.
Yep. It was eerily similar.
Yeah, but when you're compared to Michael Jordan when you have 6 rings, then we'll talk.
I mean,
they did the same shit for Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter. At least Vince Carter talking about he's the next Michael, blah blah blah. Stop it. Stupid.
You just hate fun.
I just hate stupid things, and
Dennis does hate fun.
The way the narrative and the storylines that they try to come up with during this postseason has taken away from what has been going on the floor. You hear more about LeBron. You hear more about Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan comparison. You hear all about that. You hear about Zion. Zion's work. Giannis, he's working his way back. He's running unassisted. Stop. He's not Damian Lillard. Oh, you okay, honey? But yet we got like SGA coming out and playing well. Luka, nobody really talks about him. Brunson, if LeBron has a story, it's going to trump anything that Brunson does, because they're going to talk about Joel Embiid's knee injury. Every takeaway from every game in that series is not how well Jalen Brunson is. It's poor Embiid. Oh, his knee hurts, honey. Fuck all of it.
Who kissed in your cereal this morning?
We're just taking turns of being fucking pissed at everything. But
am I wrong?
Well, I think the big thing with this Sixers series has turned into now everyone is just saying that Joel Embiid's an incredibly dirty player. That's what the narrative is now for this whole thing, whether he's hurt or not. And then it's funny because you go from that narrative to like, you get to people knew Anthony Edwards was a very good player and that he was he's becoming a star. But this series against Phoenix and how he was like talking trash to Kevin Durant and like just enjoying, it seemed like he was just enjoying basketball in general, and his like post-game press conferences and everything. Anthony Edwards had literally in one series almost become the face of the league and is like now everybody's sweetheart.
Don't get me wrong. I have tons of respect for Anthony Edwards.
I know.
I love his durability. I love his attitude. I love everything about him. The only thing I don't like is the Michael Jordan comparison because it's just corny and it's old. Like, stop doing that. It's dumb.
I will say he has a lot of similarities in his game to Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he's accomplished the same things,
Come on.
but he has a lot of similarities. Just saying.
A lot of guys are similar.
And by the way, the Knicks are winning now.
Yep, I figured. I mean, it's in New York, so I knew the Sixers were going to flare out at some point. I mean, I just watched Tobias Harris get boxed out by 4 separate Knicks and get a rebound, so they're not getting rebounds.
And as soon as the Sixers lose, instead of talking about how the Knicks are playing well and are a good team, everybody's going, oh, Joel Embiid, what's next for him? Fuck that. I don't care about LeBron. I don't care about Joel Embiid. I don't care about Kawhi Leonard. I don't care about Zion Williamson. I don't care about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't care about any of those guys. But yet, I don't care about Kevin Durant. I don't care about Bradley Beal. I don't care about
All right, how many guys do you
Devin
not
Booker.
care?
I don't give a shit about any of them. But yet, they will dominate the story, the headlines.
Of course they will. They're always the big names. Every time.
But there's plenty of other big names that are playing well.
I agree.
Let's talk about SGA. He certainly deserves to be talked about more than any of those other bums.
I feel like they've barely talked about OKC in general. But before we get to the rest of the league, the Timberwolves are going to be playing the Nuggets. This is obviously a big series in terms of the Timberwolves becoming a serious contender. Do you think Anthony Edwards, not asking you if he is going to become Michael Jordan, but do you think that this playoff run is going to vault him into possibly being an MVP contender for the next few years?
Well, it depends if they can get past Denver, because I think the winner of the Denver Timberwolves series will win the NBA championship. I don't know if it's hard for me. I love Cat. I love Jokic and Murray. I'm going to go with the upset pick here, and I'm going to go with Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think Anthony Edwards is going to firmly become the face of the NBA this season after he wins the championship. It's bold.
Okay.
It might be out there. It might piss off Dennis, and he might be like, get off my lawn. But I just love everything.
I'm okay with Anthony Edwards being the face of the NBA. Zero problem with it. Zero. No problem with it.
He's definitely not street clothes.
No.
But I will say that I do think that if Anthony Edwards, if he just plays well in this series, win or lose, I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation for the next 5 to 7 years. Win or lose. I just think he's that good. He's been only getting better. He's one of the only stars that is a two-way player. There's already not many superstars. There's even fewer superstars that are elite two-way players, and I think he's one of them. And the guy is just obsessed with basketball, and that's always only going to propel him even further. Marcus here said he's going to be in the MVP conversation regardless of this playoffs.
I agree with Marcus. But I think Minnesota, though, I don't think this will be their year. I think they're on the cusp of doing something well. They just got some stuff they got to tweak around. They have decent depth. Cat has a lot of versatility, but his ability to stay healthy is not there. Teetering. But I just think right now, just the Nuggets are still the team to beat. I think they're they're constructed for the playoffs. Their guys on their roster, with the exception of Murray, Gordon could stay healthy. Porter played every game this season. Jokic could. So all these guys can play, and they could play heavy minutes. So
true.
Mike Malone was playing these guys into the 40s during that series, like multiple times.
Right.
So, yeah.
I do think the next 5 to 7 years, the West is going to be a power struggle between the Timberwolves and the Thunder. Those are going to be the top two.
Well, I'm not going to rule out Denver though. Denver's could three-peat.
Well, no, I'm saying like Denver will be good the next few seasons. But I'm saying the next, like, over the longer haul, the 5 to 7 years, I think it'll be the Thunder and the Timberwolves. Especially, it obviously depends on what exactly happens long term with Gobert and Cat, because Gobert's already in his 30s, and Cat, he's hitting that time period of like he's gonna need another contract. Do you really want to give him a max contract because this year has been so for him? And like you said, he's not as healthy as he once was. So what happens there? And then on top of that, they have to kind of reshuffle some role players because some of their role players have gotten older in terms of Mike Conley. But I do think that those are going to be two teams that are going to be up there a lot. So with that being said, just talking about the rest of the playoffs, I like OKC a lot. Obviously, they're going to beat the Pelicans. I mean, whether Zion was there or not, I don't think the Pelicans are going to win the series, but obviously it's a sweep without Zion. And then the other, I'm surprised that the Mavericks are having as much of an issue with the Clippers as they are.
The Clippers aren't a bad team.
Yeah.
No, but like the Mavericks feel a lot better than they have been the past 3 seasons.
I mean, are they though? I mean, they got good toward the end of the regular season, but they still they're the Clippers, even without Kawhi, they still have 2 of the best players in the league, at least. And then we forget they have an MVP coming off the bench, Russell Westbrook. Then they have Norman Powell, and then you can get, Zubac can play well, and then you have these little pieces, Amir Coffey, man, like all these little pieces can add up. And as much as Dallas made really good, like Daniel Gafford he's been struggling to stay healthy throughout the postseason. That hasn't helped. So the Mavericks' depth is still, it needs a little bit more work, I think.
True.
Because when you got like Josh Green and Hardy and Derek Jones Jr., and that's not really going to do it.
Tim Hardaway's been kind of invisible in this series too.
Well, he's been hurt. Now of course he's hurt.
True. Marcus here says, good stuff, y'all. Gonna go watch my sad Cavs be sad. Yes, they are playing tonight. I know you forgot.
We didn't forget, Marcus.
Of course not. We like the Cavs around here, but I also do like the Magic, to be honest. I really like.
We are the
Magic.
Atlantic Files.
Play the song. Play the song.
The only play the song around here is the Sixers song. So
fuck the Sixers song.
No, but
isn't that your wedding song? Hold on,
it was our entrance song, yeah.
Philadelphia 76er.
Yep.
I don't know how the rest of it goes.
I thought you were talking about that Bruce Springsteen song, Philadelphia, where he has AIDS.
Did you say where he has AIDS?
Yeah, that movie. He had AIDS.
Oh, I didn't even know.
It was Tom Hanks in that movie.
Oh, the actual movie called Philadelphia.
Yeah. And it was just, the video was just Bruce Springsteen just walking down a street. That was the whole video. So, and it's a great song, but it just makes you want to jump off a bridge after you listen to it.
You guys hear the song?
No.
I'm playing the song.
What song?
The Sixers one?
Yeah, Here Come the Sixers.
Yeah, you can't hear that. It probably cancels out background noise. But
no, I'm surprised though the Cavs have had issues though with the Magic. I mean, the Magic are good, but I still think the Cavs are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I agree with Marcus. They're forgotten about, but that's a good team.
The Cavs should be a much better team than the Magic. Keyword should. But they have not acted like it. And when they play in Orlando, they haven't even gotten 90 points.
It's because they're so bored. They just want to go. They want the game to get over with, so they can.
They're
get
bored
out of
in
there.
Orlando compared to Cleveland.
Well, it's because it's like there's no energy in Orlando. Like those aren't real fans.
I mean, their stadium's been pretty good for the playoffs. But
I'd be
regular season-
bored if all. What is it, Orlando? Goofy. Who
I had my
cares?
bachelor party in Orlando. Watch it.
I didn't get an invite.
Neither did I.
I mean, I
said
wouldn't have went
Orlando's
anyways,
boring. But either way, I really like the Magic. I like Banchero. I like the Wagner brothers. I mean, if they just get a couple other players to kind of shore up the wings and get a nice like distributing point guard too that can shoot a little bit, I think you have a really nice recipe for some like a really solid team. And then of course there's always like if you can ship out Wendell Carter Jr. for somebody that's actually going to play, that will always be nice because Carter Jr.'s on the injury report just as much as anyone else.
Not Markel Fultz.
Well, true, but Markel Fultz has actually been playing pretty well in this series.
He ain't no Gary Harris, I'll tell you that.
No, he's also no Jalen Suggs, but he's been contributing.
I still like Cleveland better.
I mean, I like those guys better. They should be better, and I think they are a better team. But when they go cold, they go freezing cold. I mean, as long as they keep their home court advantage, though, they're going to win because that's the only place they can win, apparently. But how about Derek White turning into Michael Jordan?
Oh, God. Derek White, the guy that almost blew up our fantasy league.
If you told me that Derek White would be the centerpiece of a trade that almost melted down an entire fantasy league like 2-3 years ago, I would have said you're insane.
But I'm annoyed though because he was on my team, but he wasn't good when he was on my team.
How long ago did you have him?
A couple of years ago.
He was still meshing in with Boston.
He was like that San Antonio, like still smelled like the Spurs, kind of
Right.
Derek White.
Still coming off the bench.
Right.
Yeah. Not the drop 30 points in a playoff game.
Yeah, that big shot.
Not
the 3 blocks first, you Derek White.
Not the Lionel Messi in the crowd, so I'm going to show him that I'm the greatest player to ever play the game type of Derek White.
Not the bald Derek White. That's the good one.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want the one where he looks like a lollipop that you dropped on the carpet. You want
Which I don't know why he cut his hair though. Was he balding or something? Like what?
Oh, his hair was terrible. Hold on.
I never noticed that.
I think he was the only person that had a worse hairline than me. And
Really?
Here we go. Hold on. I'll bring it up on the screen here. His forehead was ginormous before going bald. Look at
That's because he wore the headband though.
Oh, I forgot it's only sharing that. Why is this not going away? There's no headband there.
He traded his hairline to do that from all the headband. Okay, that's a bad forehead. You're right.
That's why.
Okay, now it doesn't even look like it's really on his head. It looks like it's like photoshopped on there.
I know, right? Like he has a fro, but it's like only back here.
Yeah, no, that's a good call on his part.
It's like he went to the barber and said, "Cut my hair like a yarmulke, but make it a fro."
It's like the barbers, like the clippers ran out of like they died halfway through the haircut.
He wanted to go bald, but the clippers just weren't plugged in that day.
And then who's that from? Is that Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart, yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
But like, and then like, he doesn't look bad bald. I don't know
Nah,
why.
he can pull it off.
Like, it looks better.
Yeah, he looks younger too. Actually,
He does look younger. So I mean, as long as you have a beard, I feel like bald, you can pull off bald. Because if you don't have a beard, and your like head shape is kind of weird, you kind of just look like a saggy penis.
But if you're white and bald and have a beard, then you either look like a racist or a child molester.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Actually, no. If you wear glasses and you're bald and you're white and you have a beard, then you look like a child molester or a mad bomber.
true. I agree with that. But like, or you just look like Marcin Gortat.
He can pull that off, though.
Yeah. But it's also because he's like Russian or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah,
Polish.
yeah.
Polish.
Yeah,
There you go.
same thing.
Yeah. Essentially the same thing these days. Oh, God. But, last thing I want to bring up, the Bucks. You brought them up for a little bit there. Damian Lillard now hurt. Giannis hurt. Chris Middleton somehow playing, even though he was getting hurt too. And so now Doc Rivers has a plausible but another excuse to not do well. And the Pacers are actually going to win. However, even if the Bucks won, and even with the Pacers winning, I don't think either one would win the second round no matter what anyway.
No.
So it's kind of like this first round series with these two teams is not only, honestly, it's a pretty boring series. The one went to overtime, it was decent, but like the series in general is pretty boring because your big name players on the Bucks are getting hurt, which is not a surprise. We've seen Damian Lillard get hurt many, many times over the past 3-4 seasons. We always know Giannis lives on the injury report.
Yeah, but this
Chris
time,
Middleton
though, it
lives on the
matters.
injury report. What'd you say?
Damian Lillard being hurt this time matters.
Exactly. Chris Middleton also lives on the injury report. So, like, that's your 3 top players. So then now you got Patrick Beverley playing 40 minutes.
Who was also on the injury report.
True, because he's also like 40 years old.
I mean, you know what? I'm not even going to do it because the minute I start talking about Giannis, so I'm not going to do it.
Issue another apology.
I'm going to have to do another statement, and I'm not wasting one more.
I missed the prepared statement.
So, I mean, but all I'm saying is that Giannis hasn't been around.
True.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not criticizing, even though I did earlier, but now I'm not.
But yeah, either way, the Eastern Conference is, I mean, it's Boston's to lose. That's really what it comes down to. I don't see anybody beating Boston in a 7-game series in the East. I don't see them winning the championship, but I don't see them losing before the championship either. So
you don't think the Celtics win the title?
No, I think it's going to be Denver probably.
I honestly think that if you can keep Porzingis healthy, which has been a problem, but when you look at the depth of the Celtics,
their depth is insane.
Hauser, Pritchard, Luke Cornett alone.
Al Horford's coming off the bench.
Yeah, I was going to get to him too. Al Horford steps up when you need him. Remember when OKC just paid him to do nothing and everybody thought his career was over?
They paid him a lot of money to do nothing. They traded him away for Danny Green.
Yeah, that worked out.
And then Embiid ended Danny Green's career.
He did play a few games after that. for
Again.
Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But unless you guys have anything else to get off your chest, I think that's it here for us tonight.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool.
I'm just not going to bring up Giannis, how he's hurt again.
Street clothes Antetokounmpo.
Mm-hmm.
What about his 3-point shooting? You gonna bring that up?
Nope, he's great.
I heard this whole
Yeah,
time he's been working on his shooting. So
yeah, okay. I mean, as long as he scores 43 points, nobody cares that he was 30 for 67 from the field. Nobody cares.
here's a departing question.
He's 1 for 11 from deep, but hey, he still scored 38 points, so that's great.
Here's a departing question. Who stays longer coaching their team? Doc Rivers, Nick Nurse, or Darvin Ham?
Oh, Darvin Ham is gone. I could see Darvin Ham getting fired. If Darvin Ham makes it through the offseason, I could see him getting fired in like a Mike Brown kind of Cleveland type of thing.
I could see that. So then it comes down to Nick Nurse or Doc Rivers, who stays with their respective team longer.
Doc is like a cockroach, man. He can outlast.
He could take you to the same exact result for 10 seasons, and they're like, give him one more.
Right. He likes porn. He's fine.
Exactly. And he's all inclusive with his porn, so he's even better.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, on that note, that is it for us.
But by this time, Frank, by the time our next episode, Frank Vogel will be gone.
Oh,
You think?
he has to be. They already threw him under the bus like literally the day after their season was over because apparently Kevin Durant couldn't play in this offense.
Right, even though statistically he had one of the best seasons, if not the best season of his career, but yet, he's being held back. But we won't talk about the fact that, the Bradley Beal played about 3 games and Devin Booker was hurt, and, we won't talk about that. They have no bench.
And the fact that if you're considered one of the best offensive players in NBA history, that excuse goes right out the door. Because if you are, it doesn't matter what coach you have, you're getting your points.
Poor Frank Vogel.
I know, he's just been the fall guy for...
He's just got to stay away from these superstar teams.
I know.
Like the next team he should go to, if Charlotte hired him, he'd be like, perfect, I'm there.
Well, JJ Redick might become their coach.
You might want to think about it.
The Knicks are going to sign LeBron and draft Bronny with one of their picks. I'm calling it right now.
Oh, God. I'm old enough to remember when the Knicks were apparently going to go get Joel Embiid. That's definitely not happening.
What do you mean? That was this season they were talking about.
I know. But after this series and how now all the Knicks fans completely hate him, it'd be a little awkward if they were like trade announced, Embiid goes to the Knicks, and then they just play the clip of the entire crowd saying fuck Embiid.
Right.
Like Trae Young.
Exactly.
Now that's a guy they should trade for.
Trae Young?
Or my mans.
I don't think Trae Young and Jalen Brunson would.
No, I'm talking
do well
Philly.
Together. Oh, Philly. No, I don't want.
Which one is your man's?
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
Oh.
His mans are DeJounte Murray and Scotty Barnes.
My mans. Brunson's my mans.
True. Brunson as well. You have claimed Brunson a long time ago.
Right.
So.
Do you know who my man's is?
Cat.
Whatever latest signing Rutgers made.
Well, that'll be 2 guys. So just so you guys know, for the 2025 NBA rookie draft in our fantasy league, if you end up with picks 2 or 3, they must come to me. I will pay over and above the price it costs.
Why not the first pick?
Because I don't want Cooper Flag. I just want the 2 Rutgers guys. I will make it worth your while. But if you end up with pick 2 or 3, if you end up with pick 2 or 3, you have to trade them to me, or I will delete the league.
I have mine and Dennis's pick next year.
So if Dennis blows it up, or if you suck, we got to talk.
Dennis, you should blow it up next year.
I'm thinking about blowing it up, but I don't know.
He won't give me Sabonis.
Of course not. That's his other man's.
That's my man's.
But he's Jewish. He converted to Judaism.
I love Jews.
I mean, he does love Jews.
Right.
It's very
not
apparent.
all of them, but
just the tall, lanky, 7-foot ones.
Enough to make both of his co-hosts Jewish.
Right.
All right. Well, with that, I think it's time for me to hit the old dusty trail.
He's going to go eat a bagel and lox.
Yep.
With cream cheese this time. With cream
Right.
cheese. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching another episode of The Atlantic Files, the #1 podcast on the #1 division in the NBA, brought to you by the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell below for notifications, let you know when we go live, and we are everywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that good stuff. Please rate, review, subscribe. It helps us out greatly. We will catch you guys next week. Peace.